Evening, everyone. This is me again, your friend, King David D. And tonight I come on here because I thought that it's time for me to just lay it on the line the way it really is. Last time I was talking, I was kind of beating around the bush about it, but no more. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It just the way it really is. And what I'm talking about is who is the adversary. In other words, who is Satan? Or Beelzebub, Lucifer, Satan, the devil with all his demonic demons, however you choose. Because, see, we know that we are in the presence of experiencing, rather, if you want to accept it or not. We are dead smack in the middle of the apocalypse. Yes, this is what's going on today. And I want you to think about this seriously and think about the influence in which that this particular individual has on certain people. And that certain individual is none other than our President of the United States of America, who has the dark forces on his side, Donald J. Trump. He is, in fact, the adversary. Our Father God's, he is the serpent. He is the dragon. He is the demonic spirit in which that has landed right smack in the middle of our laps here in America. Think about all the stuff that he's doing. He do not, even after the children have been slaughtered over and over and over again in the school systems, he do not want to put a restriction on certain types of guns that should be sold in the gun industry to private citizens. This is what we need. We need a ban on certain types of artillery that a private owner can purchase. I'm not talking about our soldier boys, and I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about private owners. There should be a restriction on what kind of guns, ammunition, hardware, whatever you want to call it, should be sold across the counter to private individuals. You know it's true. You know it's true. We cannot stop what they call the First Amendment, right to bear arms. Okay, but we can put a restriction on what types of arms that a private citizen can purchase. Because these young kids buying weaponry that belongs to an arsenal is out of the question, should be restricted. Yes, we have the devil causing all kind of chaos in our country today. And anyone that wants to follow him or agrees with him are just as much of a devil as he is. And you know it's true. You know it's true. What else could we call it? Oh, David, he's just a sick man. That's about the furthest that he goes. But think about it. That sick man took the influence that he has and got into the White House. With all his crazy talk that he done before he got into the White House, before he got elected, all of that crazy talk, and everybody knew that he was serious. It was not a joke. That man was dead serious about everything he said and everything he's done. We have caught his hand in the cookie jar. And there is no doubt in anybody's mind. Now we see who he really is. Because he hasn't changed. Everybody was saying, oh, he'll be presidential in a minute. Let him get settled in first. Hogwash. That is a bunch of hogwash, and you know it. This man, Donald J. Trump, is in fact one of the biggest devils that has ever revealed himself to the public. I know there's a lot of other devils, but for right now, here in America, he is the biggest. The media wants to call him a bully. The women wants to call him he's an assaulter of women. And not only that, he's one of the biggest liars that have ever set foot in the White House. Yes, the biggest liar. And you know it is. He is one of the greatest deceivers in our society today. And rather if we want to admit it or not, he's going to work his way. Congress, he has an influence on Congress in a way in which that is just completely, horrifying. It really is. It's horrifying of the way that he has a grip on Congress, and nobody wants to call him out for what he really is. And please, people, understand that this is something that did not just come overnight. I'm pretty sure that in the back of your minds, you know he is. Donald J. Trump, is Satan. We have Satan in the White House. And if we call him out, we can stop him. If Congress call him what he is, it will stop him. If Paul Ryan commences with the paperwork to impeach him, he will be out. Just that quick. But everybody sitting around twiddling their thumbs as if they don't know what to do. And they do. They're not new at this game called politics. No, they're not. But then you have an average individual like myself that will speak out and call it what it really is, while everybody else is shaking in their own boots. See, I know my father told me that I can walk on serpents, scorpions, and any other type of dangerous entities that is in this existence. And so long as I continue to look towards him and maintain my focus on my Father, there is nothing, not one solitary thing that can harm me. Even the devil, Donald Trump. So, folks, stop shaking in your boots. When you go to church, tell your ministers to man up. And if they give you that bull about religion and politics, what do you think the religion is? It's politics. The same order that the government is ran, so are the churches. It's a sorry excuse. Did Martin Luther King say he wasn't going to try to enforce civil rights because it's politics? No, he didn't. What is wrong with the people today? Is this United States of America, is it filled with nothing but a bunch of cowards afraid to call it like what it really is? Are we just going to continue to sit and watch these children to die one year after the other? Are we going to continue to have the government to destroy the things that have been created to serve the taxpayers? If the government destroyed Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, and all these other health insurances in which that we have in place today, it's because the people are just completely lazy. You got to get up and you got to talk to your ministers. Everybody throughout this entire nation. And tell them it's time for us to really do a 1,000,000-man march down on Washington. Because this is uncalled for. This is something that is unheard of. This is something in which that we should not just sit by and allow the devil to completely just jack us up. These young women that have kids out of wedlock that needs help to take care of their children, they have that right, even if they did make a mistake. Still, they are American citizens, and they deserve to be taken care of. And not only that, not just the kids, but the old people too. The old people that have lived through all this mess, that came up in the 60s and the 70s and fought for us to have what we have now, and then all of a sudden one devil come along and just pull the rug out from up under us. We should have raised holy hell when Bush outlawed bankruptcy. No, David, that's still bankruptcy. No, it isn't. That's what they call it, bankruptcy. But see, even before Jesus walked this earth, man was allowed to be forgiven his debt, which is called bankruptcy. And this has been going on for generations and generations since civilization. And then we have a little peon named George Bush come along and take that from us to have a right to be forgiven. So where an individual can start their life, get back on their feet again. But see, with the way they have it now, it's not going to be like it used to be. A person cannot get a fresh start anymore. And now we got another devil. And if we continue to allow the devil to just come in and just pull everything right out from up under us, we are depriving our children, your children, because I came up in a generation where we fought. Yes, we fought. I came in a generation where there was the Black Panthers, Angela Davis, Malcolm X, Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, Stokely Carmichael, Rap Brown. Who do we got today? Who do we have today? Name somebody. Jay-Z? I don't think he gonna do anything for you. Snoop Dogg? Nope. Neither is he. So remember, people, the names that I just named, Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, these were individuals that stood by themselves. And they stood for a reason. And the things that they stood for, the people knew that they was talking right, and the people gave them support. The rally that Martin Luther King had when he did I Have a Dream, not even Obama had a crowd like that. No president. Martin Luther King was just a Baptist minister. That is all. So, who's going to take up the reins now? Who's going to take the steering wheel? Who's going to drive the bus? But see, there was this commercial called As You Travel, Ask Us, Standard Oil. As you travel, you ask the man upstairs, you ask God. As you travel, that's who you consult with. But then we need to understand that this is no game when we say walk by faith and not by sight. That's for real. That is real. Try it. You can do it. Walk by faith, not by sight. And our Father God definitely will steer you right. I come over here tonight because I just had to get this off my chest. Because, see, this is a bunch of mess that we are witnessing today in this existence. It is a bunch of hogwash. And if we continue to sit by and just cry and blow our noses and say, pass the beer, let me get another hit on that joint, you remember Curtis Mayfield, if it's hell below, we all are going to go. Right on for the darkness. Remember them brothers that had messages in their songs that was telling us about what was about to come to. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? What's happening, brother? I hope there's more people out there that's just as ticked off as I am. You know, I wrote this book, and I'm trying to get it published. The name of my book is Man-Made Purgatory. And the reason why I call it Man-Made Purgatory, because if you understand the concept behind purgatory, purgatory is an existence and where you are living in limbo. You're not touching the ground, you're just in limbo. You can't touch the walls, you are in limbo. Man-made purgatory is a hell in which that you cannot escape. You're not being heard. Nobody you can touch. You are in between life and death, heaven and hell, and you're waiting to be judged. So, are we all in purgatory? But as I always say, and I'm going to say it again tonight, that this is King David D coming over here again to say that I love you, people. Do you love me?